Welcome to the Marlene Saunders show and podcast where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Before we get started, let's start with the song.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Marlene Saunders show, where we have real talk and real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If you're new to this channel, I would love for you to subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I have as my guest co-host, Jill Monroe Show.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Marlene's show. And thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. I appreciate you being here. And of course, as always, guys, I'm going to have Jill Monroe Show linked in the description box and in the comment section. So, are y'all ready for this topic? Today's topic is don't let people borrow money. I am hyped. I am hyped about this topic because this is an important one to have because I've seen so many times where people let people borrow money and then it turns out to be a complete fiasco, disaster. So we're going to talk about why you shouldn't let people borrow money. And before I do that, I'm going to check and see who is in the chat. Okay. Oh, we have Boss Life Online. She just thumbs up the live. Thank you so much. So let's get into this information that I have. Why you should never lend money to friends or family. See, lending money can damage relationships with your friends and family, especially if they might have trouble paying it back. This can cause emotional damage and it can often get worse and feel worse than losing the money to lose relationships because you lose trust in a person. Okay, Gio, you're up to the bat. What do you have to say about this?
Well, my daddy always told me, don't lend no money if you're not expecting it to get it back. You understand what I'm saying? Say, I used to ask him, what are you talking about? He said, most people ain't going to pay you your money back. So you have to pick and choose who going to pay you your money back. You know, some people will say, well, I can pay you during tax time. And you never see them. They get them taxes and they gone. And I have, when I lend people money, I tell them I need my money back. But do they give it back? Some do, some don't. Mm-hmm. That's what I have to say. Mm-hmm. So I don't lend that much money out.
Yeah, and for me, I think it's about the track record. When you are borrowing, when someone's borrowing money from you, you have to have been a person that, it has gone both ways because I'm not just going to let you borrow my money. Have you given me money?
Right. They have borrowed money and haven't paid you back, but they want to borrow some more.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that some mess?
Yeah.
How can you never borrow back? Like they'll come back and say, hey, can I borrow some money? And I said, I'm still waiting for you to give me back what you borrowed before. Right. Okay, never mind then.
Then they want to get an attitude because you won't give it to them.
Yeah, and what is that about? Why do you think that people think that as your friend or family member, I think sometimes friends and family members think entitled that you have to do whatever it is that they want you to do.
No, that ain't it. It's because you're successful and they're not. Mm-hmm. You know how to save your money, put your money in an account. Savings account, or you have the way better job than they do because you went to college or you went and took some kind of trade. They know that you make money and they feel like you should give it to them because they're not up there like you are.
Oh, that's what it is. And I guess that's why they're always saying to you, make sure you're saving some money, right?
Yeah,
And why they say that is because they want you to save money so they can borrow it from you.
right, and never pay you back.
Yeah. And for me, that's not borrowing. That's giving somebody. Like my mom always said, you make sure when someone borrows money that that's a donation. Okay? Make
Yeah,
sure that's a donation because don't expect people to give it back to you. And if they do, that's how you know that you can trust that person. But if you don't, just count it as money under the bridge, water under the bridge, and keep going.
yeah, that's what my daddy was saying to me.
Yeah.
You know, I've given money to certain people, and they have not. They act like they didn't. I didn't give them nothing. Hey, girl, what's up? Well, where's my money?
Hmm.
You know, and they know. And look, people know that they owe you, but they act like they don't know.
Oh, and that's the whole. This is the part that burns me up is when you let somebody borrow money and then they start ignoring you. You on one side of the room, they go to the other side of the room, or if you come in, they leave.
Yeah, well,
Hmm. They
yeah,
stop
that's happened
taking
to
your
me
phone
too.
calls.
Right. They ghost you. And if you they can't get away, they act like, oh girl, I haven't seen you in a long time. What's up? They never will bring up the money that they owe you.
Hmm.
So
They
you can
sure
just
won't. And the thing that irritates me is the people who owe you money. You see them spending all this money.
right.
You see them, they're up and you see them on the social media. They're in Italy, they're in over here, they're doing this, they bought a new car, they got new outfits, but the amount of money that they owe you is not even equal to that. It's less than that. Like how you can do that and all you owe me is this and can't give it to me.
Those are the people that you don't give no money to if they ask you again.
Hmm. Yeah, I always tell them you can never come back over here
Right.
ever. So let's get into this 8 things, 8 ways that you can refuse a loan request from family. So, tip number 1 is don't feel pressured. If someone, a family or a friend, is trying to pressure you or force you into giving them money, just say no. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Sometimes family members and friends will make you feel rushed or that you have to do certain things and you don't have to. Just say no and don't feel pressured into doing something that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Jill?
Well, I don't feel pressured if I as soon as they say let me hold, I don't have it.
Yeah.
Just pay my rent.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just say no, I'm not giving it to you because you never did pay me back the last time. So ask somebody else in the family.
Mhm. And that's all they're going to do is if you keep allowing people to use you, they will keep using you until you stop being their banker.
Yeah, and I go right on back to my grandkids. I
Mhm.
was like so tired of them, and it's not that I don't love them, but I refuse to keep doing stuff for them and they never learn nothing. They have to learn how to walk this journey of life. They have to learn how to be responsible and not wait on grandma or mama to help you out of stuff. Get a job. I don't care if it's at Wendy's, McDonald's, or whatever, but get a job and be responsible, you
Yeah.
know, and stop asking your mama and your granny to do things for you. Now, once I put my foot down, really put it down, they stopped asking me because I told them I'm not giving y'all no money. I got my own rent over here and everything. If I can make money and I'm your grandmother, and here you is 23 and 24, and you can't do nothing, baby, please.
Well,
So I
I
don't.
say that all the time.
And
Like,
then
how come you can't do it and you're much younger and have more strength than me? And I can do it and save money. See, the thing is that they are living big, fancy shoes, car, trips, eating out all the time. I'm not telling nobody what to do. If that's what you can do, then you do that. But don't come to me after you burn out all your money.
Thank you. And
Don't
then
come over here.
one of my grandsons has a nice job. He makes quite a bit of money. He gonna ask me to sign for his car, a co-sign. I said,
Mm.
no, you're not gonna mess up my credit that I have spent years to get it to where I need it to be. I said, no, no, no. And then he didn't even have the nerve enough to call me. He did it. He sent me a
Wow.
message in Facebook, and that really teed me off. How you can't even come over and discuss this with your granny? You
Wow.
know why do they use text messages and stuff? I'm from the old school. If you want something from me, you need to call me, okay? Or you need to come over here and talk to me face to face. I don't. When it's my money, you don't tell me. You don't text me. You need to get in touch with me some kind of way. So I just got back on Facebook and I typed in there, no way.
I know that's right. And you see what is in the chat. Mike's computer tip says if you don't have it, don't buy it.
That's right.
And guess who we got in the house?
J Luck blog. Hey J Luck.
She said, give that baby that money.
So I'm not giving you. I tell you what, J Luck. I will give him your phone number and you sign for the car.
And tell him make sure he gets there by 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, before the bus stop, right?
Yeah, because I am not taking you home.
J Luck is a friend of ours. That's why we can tease her like that.
Yeah,
But thank you so much for being in the chat, J Luck. Yeah, and
yeah.
I'm not finna mess up my credit. No, ma'am. It took me too long to get it to where it is, and I just put in there, no way. You know what he answered me? Thank you, Granny. And he ain't bothered me since.
Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I had some family member. I'm not gonna say who because they may watch this recording back. But they asked me for money, and I said no, and they said why not?
What?
I was like, oh, I was like, hold up,
You should
hold
have told
up.
him
I know
why.
you did not just say why. Mm-mm. Bet you better. I say you better back up. You better back up. When I say no, it's no. It's a full sentence. No
And we,
explanation needed. I don't have to explain why. And I put back, why don't you have money?
child, you better than me because I would have went down. Here's 20 things. First of all, you not responsible. You don't have no job, and you go over there and you buy Nikes and all of this Reebok t-shirts and all of this here. You can't even put gas in your car. You don't keep a job. Oh, I would have went down to this. Now get up and
Oh,
get up out my house.
I was like, you have money to buy Balenciaga and
Woo.
all of this stuff that I can't afford to get, Celine and all of these other brands, that there in no way I can buy those brands. I know I can't afford it, and I'm okay with that. I'm
Yeah,
okay with not having the biggest things because I'm not looking to please nobody but myself.
thank you.
But
I
don't
shop
but
at the
don't come
good.
over here talk about why you can't.
Well, you know what, Marlene? If they look real closely and take their time, they can find all that name brand stuff at the Goodwill.
Oh, I already know that. Oh, they already see that. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. My sisters will say that and my friends, but they'll say, oh, no, I can't go in there. I guess they got too much pride. They're too.
But they can ask you for your money.
They want to go into the mall or TJ Maxx or somewhere like that and pay 30, 50, $100 for the same thing I get for $4. Well, don't come over here. Don't come over here. No, ma'am, you cannot.
Hmm.
Okay. Point two, how to refuse a loan request from friends and family. Uh, do not respond to the request. Don't respond. When they ask you, just look at it and then they'll see you seen it and you don't even reply, because if you don't answer, then they gonna know.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Don't respond.
don't respond. You don't have to get into, oh, I can. Why? You just look at it and be like, whatever. Sometimes I just delete their message.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, don't even respond. Okay. How to refuse a loan request from friends and family. Three, be firm and concise. You
Right.
got to be firm with friends and family. You got to be firm, because if they know, if you'll say, well, maybe, or I don't have it right now, you all you say is no, no, or I can't. Those are the only two responses you get.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What part of no don't you understand?
Yep. Jellic says, wow, a why on your money? Bus stop running.
And don't ask me for no bus stop money.
Nope. Better, and you better have your money for the bus stop. Because you'd just be put outside.
Really.
Okay, point number four, how to refuse a loan request from friends or family. Don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah.
If you know you can't afford to do it, then don't do it. Don't
Right.
say, oh, well, I may have it at this time, or this is supposed to be coming in for me. It's not your responsibility to make people be responsible financially. That's not your problem or your issue. It's not
Right.
your job to bail out other people. So you don't have to make promises to people to help them. That's not your job.
No, it's not. I have, I've had to learn how to say no and don't feel guilty about it.
Mhm. Can you
And
tell us some more about that, Gio? How do you not feel guilty? Because sometimes, not all the time, sometimes I get in that category and I feel guilty when I know that I have it.
well, because I have lent out and co-signed for two or three people, and I got in trouble and had to clean up my own credit behind that and had to pay the bill when they didn't.
Mhm.
Okay, I have lent out my half, not half, but some of my rent money, and thought I was gonna get it back on the first, didn't get it. So now, since I've been through those changes and through those situations, today I have no guilt about saying no. No way. No,
Mhm.
I'm not doing that. You need a job. Go get a job. Stop asking your granny. When you get a wife, I'm going to tell her how you lived off of me.
Wow.
That's what I tell my grandson. And I know they be like, Granny, you just talking the most. If I was over there with you, we would be the most. Okay?
Mhm.
So I have learned through situations, you know what I'm saying? And living through them and figuring out, what part did I play in it. Today I can say no with no problem.
Mhm. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. They just pull on your heart. I do say no and stuff. I'm better at saying no, but I still have that guilt still, because I'm like, oh, and they really get in your heart like, oh, I ain't gonna have no food to eat. I can't not have somebody have something to eat. Well, one of my friends told me, well, if they hungry, tell them to come and get some milk or bread or something, but don't give them no money.
Now, yeah, that's what you do and see if they come. They was
Yeah,
lying.
yeah. Because if they
So,
really hungry, they would come. But they're
right.
like,
If
oh,
you
and
try
they'll
that,
and
if
they'll
you
sound so sad and pathetic.
right,
Oh, I'm so
if
hungry.
you try that one time, Marlene, and they don't come, then I guarantee you, the next time they ask you for some money and tell my they hungry, you ain't gonna feel guilty.
Yeah.
You know, you have to learn from these situations.
Yeah. I guess. Well, they always say if you haven't got shot in the foot or bit in the butt, you
Yeah,
ain't really learned nothing yet. Because once you get bit or hit in your stomach, in your pocketbook, you
right.
gon' you gonna learn.
Yeah, see, I've already been through that. That's how come I know, you know.
Oh, okay.
And you have to, you know, when you lose something and it's hard to get it back, then you'll start saying no.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. You gotta just stop because one day you gonna be in a situation where you need, and if you don't have people who will be right there to help you, then that to me that's the reason why I don't give out loans and give out money anymore. Because when I was in a situation and I needed help, nobody's gonna help you.
No, because they don't. If people borrow from you all the time, borrow, 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 when it's your turn, they don't have no money.
Yeah. And the same thing, how what you said to me is the same thing I'm gonna say to you. Oh, I don't have it right now. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm going through something and this is due and that is due. And
right,
I would give you if I had it. Mhm.
right.
And I would say the same thing. I would give you if I had it, but I don't.
Hmm. And
So,
most people know that when you're successful, or especially your closest family members know you have a savings account, and they know you're doing well. Those are the ones that like to borrow money from you now
mhm,
and don't give it back because see you doing good. You don't need this money back.
mm,
Okay, this is another reason, Marlene. I don't tell nobody what I do.
okay.
Then they won't ask.
Oh, so I guess you would say the answer to this is when they ask you, people aren't gonna ask to borrow money if you stop telling people your business.
Thank you. Now, if
Plain and
I go
simple.
to Las Vegas and I hit about $4,000 or $5,000, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Or if you get a raise in your job
I'm keeping my
or
mouth
you get a
shut.
bonus or something, keep your mouth closed.
Thank you.
I
Now,
think
if
you
I hit
told I
them
think you told me that one day when you get some money, you just get excited and cover your mouth and keep going.
right, just holler with your mouth covered and keep going. Because now, if I had $1 million, that would be something different. You know, I still would say no, but I would help my family. But
Yeah, just a little bit.
at a point, yes. If
Yeah,
they
too.
put
See,
right,
my thing is if I had a certain amount of money, there are certain people that I'm always going to help because they've helped me through
right,
situations.
right.
But I'm not just going to just give out, even if I had the money. Do you think all those rich people, millionaires and billionaires, just give out their money?
No, that's why they billionaires.
That's what I'm saying. So if we have to think, if we are people and we don't barely have any money, you wondering how you gonna pay your bills, why should you give out your money? And people who are rich
Right?
don't do that.
I don't tell people anything.
Mm-mm.
If I, you know, you know, make
Hmm.
a certain amount of money, that's my money. I earned it. I got off my butt and worked for it. Or I hit the right numbers on the darn machine to get it. I still
Hmm.
had to put in $50 or $60 to get that 5K. You know what I'm saying? And then by the time the IRS get their part, it ain't gonna be no 5,000.
Yeah.
So why? And I don't tell nobody nothing. Even if I'm at the casino with my sisters or whatever, I just keep woo, and that's it.
I
That's
know
it.
that's right.
And I
Okay.
go to that cage and I had them people direct payment, take out the IRS and stuff, and direct payment right to my account, and
Hmm.
just don't say a word.
I know you can't. So here's point number four. I mean, five. Don't make exceptions because sometimes certain family members, it's like they pull on your heartstrings and they know that, oh, my sister, my auntie, my cousin, they never say no to me. I've heard people say this. They'll
Yeah.
never say no to me. And I was like, oh, really? So
Mm-mm.
you can't make exceptions for one person and don't do for another. You got to make it be like, no. Like other people tell me
Right.
too, don't even bother going over there because she's not going to give you. Can't make no exceptions for one person or another unless it's somebody who has done the same thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't play that. I don't play those type of games where let me hold this and let me hold that and let me borrow. Let me have 50
Hmm.
or 20 or 40, and it's always little bits of money, and by the time you know it, you done gave away about $500.
I know.
Yeah. And then you need 200 for your bills and you don't have it, and I'm not going to have it until next week, and next week is another excuse.
Right. Like you, when your rent is due, your rent is due. These
Mhm.
people ain't gonna wait, you know. So you got to come up with that money that you lent. That's what broke me up right there. I said never again, ever.
Mhm.
Now the person that I lent the money to did pay me back. So let me just say this for them. But it was 30, 40 days later.
Yeah.
And I had to scuffle to get what I borrowed, what they borrowed back to pay my rent. And this happened like some years ago, but that broke me up right there. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
no, ma'am, I'll never feel guilty no more.
because when your bills are due, they don't want to hear no excuses. And
No.
like I always say, a bill company does not care where you work. That's one thing that my mama used to say. Bill collectors don't ask you, oh, you only work at McDonald's? You only work here? All they want to know is when I'm going to get my money.
Right.
So
That's all
don't
they
listen
want
to
to know.
other people when they be like, oh, that's where you work. If you are paying your bills, don't listen to nobody about what you're doing with your life.
Thank you.
Hmm. So let's get into point number 6, how you can refuse a loan request from friends or family. Help review their finances. Sometimes they don't even know what they're doing wrong. Like, okay, I see you've been eating out a lot. Maybe you need to start meal prepping, cooking something from home, or stop um, eating out at the job. If you work in 5 days a week and you say you're spending $8 a day for lunch, if you work 5 days in a week, that's $40.
Yeah.
And you don't say, oh, $40 ain't nothing. But when you times that by a whole month, that's $160, which usually is equivalent to one bill that
Yeah.
you could be paying.
Well,
Mhm.
well,
So that's what you got to help. Sometimes, not everybody. I wouldn't say it to everybody, but somebody you're close to, like your sister, your brother, cousin, grandkids, somebody like that. Sometimes you got to tell them you're gonna have to slow down and eating out and doing this and doing that, because that's why you don't have the money to do what you need to do. Because to be honest with you, not everybody knows how to control their finances.
true.
And it's something that people just think you automatically know how to use money. It's something that I had to learn when I got to be sick and tired of not having money. I had to learn how to budget, you know, know how much your bills are, know how much you want to save. And after you have money in specific accounts and you're doing things, you don't go outside of that and say, now I have to stop. I can't eat out today, even if you want to, because if I do, I'm going to be cutting into a bill or my savings.
Right.
Mhm. All right, let's go into point number 7. Suggest alternative ways to earn income. And I know sometimes this is a touchy thing because people will get mad if they ask you for money and you tell them how they can earn more income. But sometimes that is one of the best things that they need to hear, because if they know that they can just hop from one person to the next and borrow some money, they will never get themselves together.
True.
Hmm. You got, like, you can tell them, because sometimes there are things like these government agencies that will assist with light bill, water bill. There's what they call food banks. There's lots of things that, and it's not things that is free, because if you're a person who is working, you've paid into that. So if you find yourself on hard times, you better believe I'm going to go and get some food from the food bank. I donated into that.
Right.
So don't be high and mighty and think, oh, I can't go to those places because I don't want nobody to see me at no food bank. Mm.
Well,
I've seen people at the food bank in their Mercedes Benz.
yeah,
Yeah. So if they can do it and they supposedly have it, why can't you? You got to humble
yeah,
yourself and say, I need some help.
yeah,
And most of the time, people don't understand that you do need some help sometimes.
true.
Yeah. So here is one of the what are the disadvantages of borrowing money from friends and family? One of the potential drawbacks of borrowing a large amount of money from family members and friends is that they have a good grasp of your lifestyle and financial standing, and they can chastise you for your reasons for borrowing money. Like, they're going to throw it in your face and say, oh, you have a nice car, you have a nice house, how come you don't have money? So be careful of, asking for things. For me, I feel like the best thing to do is, when you need money, you need to find out why you're not having the money. Is it because of the economy downslide, or have you been spending too much? Or is it that you need to maybe work some more hours at your job and get the money?
Right,
You got to find out what is the reason why, because if you don't find out the solution, the reason for the problem, it's always going to continue. Maybe you just need to make more income.
right.
All
Yeah,
right.
but lots of people don't want to hear that.
Yeah. People, I know people don't want to hear it, but it's too bad. They need to hear it.
They do, but you'll get, oh, look here, I got another phone call coming.
Hmm. Yep. And one of the things that is the biggest risk of borrowing money, especially like what you said about co-signing a loan or something, when
Yeah.
they default, who are they
You gotta
coming to
pay it,
as the
or
co-signer?
your credit messed up. If you don't, you
Mhm.
have to pay it. That's why I'm not co-signing for nobody. I'm not me. No.
No, I don't play that. I don't want my credit messed up, because I work hard to get
Yeah.
my credit to this that I have it at, that I
Right.
should give it to you, and you mess me up.
True.
And here is the eighth reason: how to refuse a loan request from friends or family. Suggest them selling their personal items. Hmm. Yeah. Um, because I know I have done it before. I'm not gonna lie. I've sold my stuff on Macari or all those other websites where you just take a picture of an item and then you just get one of those little soft pouches and send it to the mail to them. If you need money, you need to find out some ways how to get your money instead of depending on other people. It's nothing
Right.
like being independent.
Well, that's a
Yeah,
good idea.
sometimes you have some things in your closet that you don't even use. Why
Right.
not sell it? I've sold some of my items on some of these websites where you can sell things like Etsy, Amazon, Macari. So suggest something like that, or suggest some places that give assistance to people who are in need, especially those who are low income.
Yeah. Well, most people got too much pride for that.
I know they got, but they don't have too much pride to ask you for your money.
And that's why you should have no regrets when you tell them no. I'm not like a hard person. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I believe in what you said, Marlene. If I loaned you money and you paid me back, if you ask me again, of course I'm not going to even ask you what you needed for. You don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
because
you
they have
ask
a good
me
track
again,
record.
I would say sure, and then you pay me back, and then because sometimes it takes a little while before people can get on their feet,
Hmm.
or it, maybe they have a lot of credit cards and they just trying to pay them off so that they can get back. You see, and every time that you lent them money, they paid you back. I wouldn't mind lending a person money like that, as long as it's not $800 and $900. I can't do that, but I can do what I can do.
Okay. That's what I say all the time. I say that all the time. Don't let nobody make you feel guilty.
Right.
You do, you and they're definitely gonna do them because they're out there living and having fun, laughing it up, having drinks, going out to dinner,
Right.
and you at home eating peanut butter and jelly because you got a bill that's due in a few days. So
Right.
don't worry about people who go and waste their money. You do you, and keep your money in the bank and keep saving so that you can do what you want to do and accomplish your goals. Because at the end of the day, it's about you doing what you need to do for yourself. You
Yeah.
can't, sometimes friends and family members can make you feel guilty that you're the responsible one, and they always are looking for, oh, I know they got money. I know they can give it. I know they have it. Why don't they just give it to me? But that's not your job. You don't
Right.
have to do
Right.
that.
Right. And it's just like if you got, I don't know if this is another topic or whatever. Like if I don't know if you covered this, but like like if I got a boyfriend and we've been knowing each other, been together for about 2 years, and I keep not having money because I'm out here shopping and I got my rent to pay, I got my electric bill to pay, gas bill to pay, and then every month for 2 years I'm asking him for money.
Mm,
Mm.
I don't know. To me, I think that sounds like another subject that we can get into on the next podcast. What do you think?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, if I was the man, the boyfriend, child, I'd have hit the road, child. And I'm not, because a lot of people don't want to look at themselves to find out why they ain't got no money, like you said.
Yep, and that's what I had to do because, you know, to be honest with you, I was tired of looking at my bank account and be like, why I don't got no money. Then I had to
Right.
start looking at the solution like, girl, you've been eating out and having fun too much. You're doing more than you can afford. Then
You
I had
doing
to
the
learn to
most.
pull back.
Like my grandchildren say, you doing the most, Marlene. you
I
know,
was I was child. I was over there eating out. I was DoorDash, Uber Eats, going out to dinner, go have drinks, food every day at work. Mm,
so no wonder you don't have no money.
yeah, and then I said, like my mama would say, "You're eating your retirement."
Yeah, you had a wise mother.
Yeah, but I used to get so mad. I'd be like, I wish you would just be quiet, but you can't. You couldn't say that,
Yeah,
but
you
I
have
wanted to
to
say
have
it. But she was right.
right, but you have to have a plan. Okay, now this is how I feel. Like if when I get my money and that I earn from my home businesses, I am going to at least take $50 or $60 of it and do what I want with it, and that's just my limit. Whether I'm going to do DoorDash, go out to eat, go buy a new top, pants, whatever it is I want to do with it. Okay? But the rest of it is divvied up with bills and savings.
Yeah.
Because when I get ready to go somewhere, I don't have to be bothered about, well, how I'm going to pay for the plane ticket.
Yeah.
That's a healthy way of thinking about, your money. There are lots of other ways to do it, but that's just how I do it. And because I do have home businesses, I can, on my taxes and stuff, I can save a bit of money as well, like that too. But that's a whole nother different story too.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother topic and discussion, a very good one that I hope you will cover on your channel.
Yes. So, people need to learn, they need to sit back and I agree with everything you said and ask themselves this question. Why don't I have no money?
Hmm.
Is
See,
it
but
something
they
that
don't want to
I'm
ask
doing?
themselves that. That's the problem.
Yeah. And you need to sit down and get a piece of paper or get some kind of notepad online and put pros and cons, okay? Or put
Mhm.
why I don't have no money and I need to keep money. And then you need to put on one side everything that you spend money on, bills, food, drinks, anything that you spend money on, gas, okay? All right, and then on the other side, you need to put savings and see what's in there. Nothing. Okay.
Yep. And then you got to find out why. That's what my thing is.
Well,
Like my mom said, I was like, Mom, how come I had to figure it out because my mom, yes, she had her retirement and other things, but I was like, she didn't have as much as I have, and I felt like we had about the same amount of bills. I was like, how can you do it? And I can. And she said, Girl, you are eating your retirement.
right. But it's why you don't have no money. So
Hmm.
what you do is you go back through the list of your spending, and then you cross out things that you're going to stop doing, and you'll have some money.
Yep. And it's not that you live like a tight fisted or anything, but you have to. I give myself like only 2 to 3 times a month. I reward myself with some kind of takeout or whatever I want to do. You
Right.
don't want to be like completely like save everything. You got to be balanced and have some fun with your life because you're working
Thank you.
hard, but you can't be eating out every single day.
No, you can't. You have to cook.
Yeah.
And for me, like I said, I'll take even $30, $40 and go do whatever I want with it. But in my savings, that's my play money too.
Mhm.
Say for instance, I want to go to Las Vegas every 3 months. Oh, it don't cost that much to go to Las Vegas every 3 months if you go through Southwest Vacations. I didn't figure that out. Okay.
Right.
And if I wanted to do that, then I would have the money to just say, here, I don't have to put it on no credit card and run up that bill or anything like that. I found a way to have fun, okay?
Mhm.
And not be broke and not have to ask my sisters for no money.
I know that's right.
And
Because
it took me
to me,
2 years.
I hate asking people to help me out.
Right. And it took me 2 years to get that savings going like I wanted to. But that's when I looked at what I was spending and what I didn't have, that's motivation for me. And then when I started seeing my savings account go up, 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 I was like, yes, you
Mhm.
know. And that's what I still do today. I put more money in my savings than I go out and go to DoorDash and all of these places. I used to go out and eat every day.
Every day. I know that life. It was wonderful. They know you by name.
Thank you. And what you like.
Yeah.
And they love to see you coming. And ain't none of them gonna offer to pay your bills. So you need to sit down and ask yourself why you don't have no money and what part did you play in it.
Mhm. Yeah, and the whole thing, like you said, most people are not willing to look at themselves and see what they're doing wrong. They think everybody else should be responsible for bailing them out and for doing everything. I think The entitlement that I was talking about the other day about the younger generation, they feel that they are entitled, that you have to do everything for them. I have to get this and I have to get that. And if you keep doing that, you're making a cycle of people who, you're making them, you're building them to be lazy and to be dependent on you.
Right.
Everybody
Well,
got to stand up on their own 2 feet as an adult eventually.
at some point in time, you got people in their 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s just are not responsible.
Hmm.
They looking for their families to do it or whatever.
Hmm. I understand because, after going through what we went through for the past few years, and some people did not have a lot of financial stability, I understand that maybe some people at a certain period of time you went through a rough patch, but that can't be your life forever.
Yeah. I
Eventually,
mean,
you got to get up and get a job and learn to use your money responsibly.
thank you. That's what when I got tired of being broke, that's what I had to do.
Yeah. I will. That's what I just said. To me, I think you have to get to the point where you say enough is enough. When you say, I'm sick of giving this person money, and I'm sick of not having money because I lent it to somebody else and now I gotta suffer and scramble around to try to find out how I'm gonna get this to pay this back because you were kind, supposedly you were kind, allegedly.
Right.
You were kind, and people take your kindness for weakness and say, oh, I know they'll do it, so let me go back.
Really.
Yeah. And that's the reason why, I like my mom would say, that's the reason why there's Amscott. Let them go to Amscott. Hmm. Well, this has been an awesome topic. Do you have anything that you would like to add to this podcast, Gio?
just you just have to be responsible and stop doing the most. With your money, you need to sit down and figure out what you're spending your money on and what you can stop spending your money on. And when you stop spending your money on going out and blah, 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 you put that in your savings account. And then you have to be committed to doing it. And you'll start seeing your savings go up, 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 up. And then you keep your mouth shut and don't tell nobody. If you don't want nobody asking you for your money, you just don't tell them. And
Correct.
there are certain people, that if they call me every now and then, this person will call me like every 2 years and say, darn, I did something stupid and I shouldn't have done it. And I can you just lend me $150 so I can go and pay this bill and I give it back to you when I get paid? And I say, sure. And I send it and they pay it back.
Yeah.
But if
But
it's
they have the good track record.
yes, they do. If people have good track records with you, then those are the people, and those people is not going to ask you all the time for money.
Hmm.
It's the
And
people
and
that,
like you said, that's every 2 years. So
yeah,
that's a responsible person because the rest of the time they've been doing it on their own.
right. It don't even have to be every 2 years. It could be every 5 or 6.
Hmm.
Lately, I haven't heard a thing. She has not asked me for nothing for 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
You see, so that tells me she got her stuff together, because she asked me how I did it, and I told her.
Okay.
And this is a person that want to make a change. If you don't want to make no change, you ain't going to do it.
Mm-mm. You have to want to do that for yourself. And most people don't want to do things for themselves. They want their family members to do things so that they can just sit home and do nothing.
True.
Yeah. Well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much, Gio, for all of your feedback.
You're welcome.
And for anyone who is new to this channel, go ahead, check out a playlist. Run that playlist. It's some really great information that me and Gio have covered. So take a look at that, and also take a look at Gio podcast show. And look at her playlist and run that through, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will see you all on the next Marlene Saunders show, where we have real talk and real conversations, and you're welcome to it.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself.